Yeah.
There's a lot of players. So, I do want to talk a little bit about some of the other community stuff apart from just Fresh Coast or grass volleyball in general. So last night I ran into you and Tim at the Annex. For those of you who don't know, the Marquette Annex is, I guess it's on campus.
Yeah, it's on Marquette's campus.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a neat little combination of a bar, restaurant, bowling alley, and volleyball court, basketball court. So they have it's in the basement, and it's poorly lit. No room around the court. It's got a difficult surface to play on, and yet, for as long as I've lived here, which is like 15 years, people of high-level players go down there and play in the basement like once or twice a week. So, tell me about your experience there, and what league were you guys playing in last night?
So it's, what is that considered a or what is that format called?
Reverse code force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim is the one who introduced me, and then we started to play together. There was an open slot because it's hard to get into
the wait list, yeah.
And so there was an open slot, and we got into it, and it's a fun league. You getting to play with other people, like two different partners, and it's just high-level competitive volleyball, which is so refreshing.
Yeah.
That you can get on a Monday night, being able to hit on a women's net,
right,
where it's not like women's sixes or triples or something, is fun. For the co-ed aspect of it, I can play with my husband. That's nice.
Yeah, definitely. So if you haven't played reverse co-ed before, it's 4-on-4, and 2 women, 2 men, and you play on a women's net. And the other major rule is that men cannot attack from in front of the 10-foot line.
Yeah, but you guys basically are.
Yeah, well, it's right. So you can attack if you jump behind the 10-foot line. You can jump serve, and being on a low net.
Yeah, men jump serving on women's nets are.
I played last night too. I have a little bit of a bruise, I think, from digging Connor.
Yes.
But yeah,
you should have saw Emily Tusel's arms. She blocked him, I think, twice a couple weeks ago, and the next day her entire arm was bruised.
Ironically, we were talking about that last night.
Oh, really?
And then this morning, I was like, I think I have one. Yeah. But yeah, it's a really fast power type of game.
Yeah.
Some people call it power reverse because there's a pure reverse option, which is everything's the same, right? Women's net, 2 men, 2 women, except the guys are not allowed to attack, period. Can't jump serve either. But the power reverse option, obviously, it's kind of it's a young person's game in a way because of how much hitting and just full out gas that you're bringing. But I played a ton of it at the Annex. I think it's super fun, yeah.
It is fun. I mean, especially in a co-ed format, there's not a lot of where men and women get to hit.
Right.
When we do high lows, which I also enjoy because men can hit on their level net and then we can hit on ours. But I think that's the only one where we both can fully attack on.
Simultaneously, on the same rally even sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to play in a number of reverse co-ed tournaments. There was one at Parkside for a long time that was had a high level play. People from Penn State were playing in it and stuff. They're from Chicago, but they played in Penn State and stuff. And then at the Annex, what's cool about the Annex, right? You said you have your partner, but then every week you're paired with a new pair.
Different pair.
Yeah. So you have to find a way to figure out how the 4 of you are going to play together.
Which is fun. Because sometimes you might not play a position that you might not usually play.
Yeah, sometimes you probably have to set sometimes.
Yep.
And are you the one that is okay, I'm going to do this, and you guys do that? Or you?
I don't care.
No. See, I always
put me wherever.
I always start telling people what to do, and you know, maybe it's because I'm an ass, but I also like feel like I know better. I don't know. That's just how I am as a player. So like even last night.
As you're subbing.
I subbed. Now I didn't dictate to anybody what position they should play. That just seemed to fall into place naturally.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that happened was like I did at one point say like I'm going to play middle, but I actually did very little of that yesterday. But I was like a little bit in serve receive, you know, hey, pinch in, come stand here. A little bit like defensively, like hey, I'm going to serve the opposing side's woman so that they can't set her and just go double block.
Which is so frustrating.
I agree. I think that's one of the dumbest rules. The whole point of reverse co-ed is to increase the amount of like impact that the women players can have. So for years at the Annex on Monday nights, or I think it was on Tuesday nights, they had regular co-ed, which I played in for a long time. It was a lot of fun. But you know, in that format, the women are relegated to either being setters or liberos. Yeah. Right. Very rarely do you have a woman that's attacking and blocking in that format because you're on a men's net. Yep. It's a reverse. Drop the net height, stick the guys back row. Now you can have women be any position. A lot of teams at the Annex still will do a women's setter, and then usually like an outside hitter. But
that's
like,
usually how it goes.
Right.
Sometimes, you know, like Tim will set sometimes if it's like two strong women hitters, you know, but.
And I played with Allie Barber for a while. She was like the all-time kills leader at Marquette for, I don't know if she still is, a phenomenal hitter.
Wow, that's cool.
She's like 6'6", it's way taller than me. And like, I'm gonna set her every ball. She was just bouncing balls. And I played with Lindsay Gosh, same thing, like great, like lefty, opposite, outside play at Marquette. So that's where I like learned to set a lot better. And now I feel confident like stepping in grass triples and setting. So you can have two women hitters, you can have two guy hitters. I actually think probably the best format would be to have a really good guy setter and then a really good guy attacker, passer out of the middle with two like great blocker hitters for women, as long as they can pass well enough, like not get aced on jump serves. But because that way, like you don't really need two guy hitters. That's a little redundant. But you can just have a really awesome block and two phenomenal hitters like front row. I
agree. Like if you can do that with the women, like that's the best case scenario. No, for sure. The other league that I'm thinking of that I love to play in, that is the high-low one that Bree and Brandon run during the summer, grass. And so we like move from park to park. And so you change with you get a different pair every week.
How does the high-low work?
It's just one game men's and then one game women's.
Okay. Do you do a tiebreaker?
No. It's by points.
By points. Okay.
Yeah, you got to win the split.
Right.
Yeah.
And in the women's net version, the men are not allowed to attack.
No, and they can't jump serve.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you take the power out of it, but like you still get women, you know.
Right. So then you have to put an adaptable roster together. Yeah.
Well, it's just you sign up with a partner, and then it's like the Annex where every week you get paired up with different people.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is fun, but at times frustrating.
I don't know. It's always fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
Because I mean, it's just all of our friends who are very good at volleyball, and so you know. Yeah. It's enjoyable.
You know, there was one. I don't know if do you know Chris Bova?
Yes.
So she is one of the
Man,
players.
I haven't seen her in a long time.
Yeah. She is one of the players that when I would start telling people what to do, she would be like, fuck off. Like, screw you.
That sounds like her. That definitely sounds like her.
She'd be like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this instead. But she was also like, she's a really good player and really smart. So I was often like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think her and Sabrina played together at Wapaka this year.
I think I may have bumped into them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris and I were going to play together in the reverse league, but then COVID hit and it shut it down. And so we were unable to play together. And then just never like managed to get back to that opportunity. But yeah, so now if anybody needs a sub, I am potentially available in the annex. I'm still alive. My knees didn't fall off yesterday, but it's definitely a fun format you guys should check out. One of the things that's striking, like watching you play, and also from this conversation, is the amount of joy that you bring to the game. Do you have where does that come from? Like why is that there?
I mean, I just love volleyball. It's kind of a family sport. I remember watching my dad play in a small gym, at an elementary school, and my sister and I would be up on the stage.
Just like a community league?
Yeah, just a community men's league, and I just remember being like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. Like, these big, I mean, to me, I was, 5 or whatever, but
right.
These big men.
Loud.
Yeah, loud, like it's echoing in there.
Right.
And then as the younger sibling, I was able to be in the gym with my older siblings because my dad would coach.
Right.
And so I was just always in the gym, and my sister's 3 years older than me, and I remember her coaches, like my dad being like, all right, you guys, if she beats you guys, we gotta run this ladder again. And my sister would be like the only one that would beat me, but she'd be like, my little sister's not gonna beat me at this, But yeah, having that older sister to kind of push me, and I always wanted to be just like her. She's a setter. No one would ever let me set. But yeah, that passion kind of came from that. And then, going to Cornell, I went there for academics, but like athletics was also, the volleyball program was awesome, and I got to kind of continue my passion for the sport at a level where I could pursue other passions.
Right.
Because, D1 programs, that's your job. I mean,
it's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Many hours every day.
Yeah. I mean, D3, we still, did all the lifting weights and all that stuff, but it was...
Travel's not as much.
Yeah. I mean, in Cornell, we were on the block plan. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
No.
1 course at a time. So there's only 2 schools in the entire country that do it, maybe more now. But like Colorado College and Cornell, where you take 1 course at a time for 3.5 weeks.
Wow.
18 days, and you cover a semester's worth of work in those 18 days.
Interesting.
But that's your only class that you take. So everyone has class from, 8 till 11, and then, 1 to 3, and then all athletes and all extracurriculars happen at 3:30. That's when practice starts. And then after practice, like if you were in like a lab class, you could go back to the lab and like do your labs and stuff. And then after those 18 days, you had what were called block breaks, so 5 days off.
Yeah.
And then everyone,
this fly is just
and so everyone on campus had 5 days off. So like you could travel, like traveling for volleyball was so nice.
Yeah.
Because usually we would have like 3 or 4 matches in like a weekend, and I didn't have to worry about homework or like tests or anything. Yeah, it was so nice. I would recommend Cornell to anyone. Yeah.
Okay. So Janae, my wife, was you're friends with her.
Mm-hmm.
I swear everybody that I'm friends with likes Janae more than me, which is good. I like her more.
I mean, Janae's pretty awesome.
Anyway. But when she first started coming to Boat Ride, now she like marks it on her calendar and stuff. It's right around. It's usually right around or even the same day as our dating anniversary, and that used to be a little bit of tension, but now she's like, no, I'm gonna go party with all my volleyball friends, But when we first started going, she pointed out, like, asked her if she liked watching the men or the women more. So I like watching the women, and normally people say something like that because there's more rallies or there's more digs or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I asked her why, and she said, well, they look like they're having more fun. And you know, maybe that's true. Like when I watch you and Maggie and Jenna, like you guys are smiling, you're dancing, you're laughing. That's not to say that you're not taking it seriously and you're not trying, you're not focused, but you guys, like, yeah, you're able to play with a lot of joy. And it's also a way that seems to like not rub anybody the wrong way. Like,
yeah,
you don't have to answer like with specifics, but like, I mean, do you have like rivals or like anybody out there that like you feel like?
I mean, personally, I don't
Yeah.
really, you know, but there's definitely women who have rivals with other women, I would say.
Sure, okay.
But
yeah, it's probably not true across the whole gender, of course.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any rivals. Maybe they're rivals with me and I don't know about it, but.
Yeah, I don't. I personally don't like the term rival, but there's definitely people out there that like I know don't like playing against me. You know.
Yeah.
And there are players out there that I don't like playing against either. I'm not going to name any names, but you know, I don't know. Like,
do you think it adds to like the?
No, it's awful. I wish it wasn't that way. Yeah, you know, because I definitely try to play with joy. When I was like starting to have really difficult knee pain, I made a very conscious decision. Like, I'm going to try to have a lot of fun every time I play.
Yeah.
Because, like, why the hell else? What am I do it?
Well, yeah, why am I not having fun?
Right.
Yeah.
But also, I thought it might help my knees not hurt as much. And that's true, that worked, but eventually it got to a point where, like, you couldn't just pretend they weren't killing me. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think playing with joy, like it allows you to, you know, the pressure doesn't seem as intense. The consequences of failure don't seem as meaningful.
I mean, they're still there.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
you know, but I think the pressure of, all right, next point type deal makes it easier when you're having fun. Like when you make a mistake, it's way easier to shrug it off. If your teammates are smiling at you and they're like, it's okay, you know, we'll get the next one.
Do you, I mean, everybody hates losing, but like, are you a player who like really hates losing?
So I used to be extremely competitive and I would hate to lose.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I realized that, I don't know if I'm going to phrase this right, but like...
Gain some perspective.
Yeah, some perspective, and it's like, this is the sport that I love. I'm not a professional. I'm playing it with my friends.
Your paycheck doesn't depend on it.
Yeah, I have a, you know, good career. My paycheck doesn't depend on it. And so it's more of, I'm there to spend time with my friends and play the sport that I love, and I get down on myself, you know, and my teammates probably would attest to that sometimes I'm way harder on myself than I should be.
Right.
But having your teammates there to help you brush it off and be like, it's just a game. It really is just a game when it, you know, it comes down to it, especially the level that like we're playing at. Like you said, it's not my paycheck every month, you know. I'm not depending on the money and the winnings from these tournaments, which if I was, my perspective might change. I don't know. But I've been playing this volleyball, like this sport for 30 years.
Wow, yeah.
You know, not 30, I guess 25 years, which is a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm still playing it, which is crazy to me, that I still have the love and the passion. I've taken breaks, you know. Sometimes you need a break from it.
Post-boat ride slump.
Yeah, everyone has that break.
Has that, I wonder how, since you got married, has that changed your perspective on the game, like the winning and losing element of it?
No.
No. I feel like it did for me really strongly.
Really? Why do you think that was?
So 2019, Aaron and I, with Kyle Overby, made the finals for the first time at Boat Ride, and we lost. And I was really bummed about that loss. I thought we did not play as well as we needed to. Watching the footage back, like we played fine. Maybe had like a little bit of lack of composure, which is understandable, being on that stage for the first time.
I mean, yeah, that's a big stage.
Sure. But then I got married later that year, and then a couple years later, we lost again in the finals to out of system. And someone close to me was having this conversation about how I felt in that moment after we were done. I remember saying, like, I'm really hungry. Because it was like 11:30 at night, I hadn't eaten in hours. And I was just starving. But he kept trying to dig in and say, like, well, don't you feel bad about losing, you know? And I was kind of, I'd been progressing toward that for a while, but in that moment I was like, you know, I don't actually feel really any negativity at all. Whereas when I was much younger in my career, like, I really hated losing. I mean, I love winning more than I hate losing. It's common, you know, it's a common question, but like, I just was, you know, I'd be really upset with myself. I'd be really frustrated. Janae would always be like, yeah, I hate when you lose too, because then you get really, you know, down
moody or
moody,
down,
right?
Yeah.
But in that moment, I was actually just really grateful that I had had the chance to play in that final with Kyle, because Kyle had actually had a stroke like just a few weeks before that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was just like amazing that he was there. You know? And so, yes, I really wish I would have won that match, but I also like just felt so much more appreciative of the opportunity, and that's really stuck with me. That was maybe like the most clairvoyant moment I had about it. And I think like it started shifting after I got married, because like I knew that no matter what, I had somebody in my corner who just like supported me for who I was and not based on any results, you know?
Yeah, which does, I mean, it does make a difference. I mean, but I guess I had already...
You'd already learned that.
I had already learned that,
you were ahead of my progression, yeah.
I got married later, that's why.
Yeah, well, Tim was super stoked cheering you guys on at Fresh Coast.
Oh, yeah.
You can definitely hear him on the video.
Can you? Is that why you were like, let's mute this?
No, that wasn't why. It's just, I didn't want it to be distracting. Yeah, so I think that's cool. I think that's a good lesson to learn for a lot of young people. Like, you can be super serious, you can be really focused and dedicated, but a lot of times there's this performative element to it where you have to show like vigorous emotion, and you have to yell, and you have to act upset, and you know, like, you can remember to keep things in perspective and find joy in playing, because we're not going to be able to do it forever. You know? That kind of brings me to my last thing that I want to talk with you about is this balance between volleyball and life outside of volleyball. You talked about taking breaks. Why did you feel that you needed to take breaks?
I mean, one of a forced break, as you know, had surgery on my knee years ago.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Torn meniscus, you know, probably the most common thing that, you know, happens. Bucket handle tear.
Wow, that's the terminology for it?
That's the term I remember that they told me. But I don't know, sometimes I want to focus on other things. There's so much out there in like life and the world and like art. Like, you understand that like sometimes I want to paint, or I want to go on a hike, or I want to go to a festival, because there's so many festivals in Milwaukee, and I want to do all those things instead of spend a Saturday playing volleyball, you know? But finding that balance is hard. Like, I'm still working on it.
Yeah, there's always somebody asking you to come play.
Yes.
And even when you know it's good for you to take some time off, there's that compulsion to like, I should go play.
Yeah. So I've started to think about like, all right, I'm only going to play 4 or 5 tournaments every summer. Like, that's my max, you know?
Yeah.
Where before I would just say yes to anyone who asked me, and then it was like weekend after weekend after weekend after week, you know, and I was like, it's too much.
Right.
I want to spend my time other places, because, you know, I have other things that I'm interested in.
Yeah, so when did you become interested in art? From a young age?
I always enjoyed art. Yeah, my sister was really good at art, and so then I was like, ooh, you know, younger sister, always kind of doing what my sister did, and then I feel like I got more of a passion for it as I got older. I actually went to college thinking I was going to be a math major.
Okay.
Yeah, and then as a liberal arts college, I took some courses, and I'd always liked art. My art teacher in high school was like, you should go to art school, and I was like, that's too much, like that's way too much for me, you know. But I still enjoy it, and so.
Well, it's a scary path too.
It is.
There's no guarantees at the end of it.
Yes. Yeah. It is. And so I was like, okay, practical math, you know, I enjoyed math, I was good at math, like I'm gonna go into that. And then I took, I think, a course at Cornell, and I was like, maybe I wanna go into the arts. But then I was like, oh, my parents might kill me if I just get an art degree from my college.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, I do like coaching. I was coaching in college club. And so then, and like helped out at camps and stuff that my coach would run. And so then I was like, you know, maybe education. And then I went into that and, you know, did practicums and stuff, and learned that, yeah, that was another passion of mine, is being an educator. So.
Which is what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Elementary art. Woo.
Elementary art.
Yeah.
That must be a combination of rewarding and very, very trying of one's patience.
Yes, yes. Have to have a lot of patience.
I imagine there's a lot of messes that occur.
Yeah, definitely.
But also some good moments.
No, I love teaching. It is getting more challenging, I think. Kids are, you would not think that elementary kids would be swearing, but you know, or you know, I'm dealing with a lot of extra things beyond just teaching art. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of shift in our culture these days.
Yes,
that makes it difficult. I can relate a lot to your story because I also like math. I still like math. When I was in college, I took Calc 2 and Calc 3, like just for fun.
Oh, nice.
And I ended up having to take a W on Calc 3 because we had Friday classes, and I missed like the first 5 weeks of Fridays because of my D1 volleyball schedule.
Oh my God.
And so I was just like so far behind. I was like, I gotta not take this class. Like I gotta drop it. But it was past like the drop deadline, you know. So I have a little blemish on my, you know, but whatever.
I actually had to drop Calc 3 as well. Yeah. When I was in college, and then that's when I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna switch majors.
But at that point I knew I wanted to be a musician. It was because when I was in high school, like every subject I did, I think I just loved learning in general, and so I was enjoying almost every subject. I was doing well in all of them, but like the one that was just the most consistently challenging and the one that was the most consistently like emotionally gratifying was music. And so I was like, you know what, like if I can spend the rest of my life doing volleyball and music where I'm like constantly, like there's no ceiling, I'm always working to get better, I'm always competing, I'm always like looking for these emotional highs, like then I'll be happy, you know. And so like but it's very hard to balance that, you know, and I've definitely had to prioritize one over the other at different points in my career. Since I graduated college, like I've prioritized volleyball. It's hard to be a successful musician if you're not willing to travel, if you're not willing to stay up late, you know, and like I have to take care of my body and go to sleep at a reasonable hour every night. And there's also, you know, neither of those careers pay very well unless you're like a superstar. So I've had to like find ways to make money. Do you find like at different points in your career, like you've prioritized art, prioritized teaching, or playing volleyball?
I mean, definitely. It's definitely changed and shifted as I've gotten older. Like I used to coach, this is the first time I haven't coached high school volleyball in like 5 years. And so that was a big change, but I did it so that I could make more art. Because now my goal is to like, you know, go to craft fairs and like sell some of my art and maybe do that and just to see what happened. But I knew I wouldn't have the time to do it if I was still coaching, you know?
Right, totally.
And I'm, you know, starting to limit myself on how many volleyball leagues I'll play in or how many tournaments I play in, because I do want to start pursuing more of the art side of my passion, you know? So I get exactly what you're saying. It's hard to find that balance. So are you going to play more or find that?
That's my goal. You mean play more music?
Yeah, music. Sorry. I guess you could play marble too.
Yeah, well, not yet. I have played more this year than I have in a while. I've played a few gigs. Tomorrow I'm going to go do some recording in a studio on a friend's album.
Okay.
So I've been engaged with it. I performed at my sister's wedding a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I've had a number of gigs, and I've been keeping the best gift I ever got. Sinead got me a piano 10 years ago, and I play it every day. So I'm still engaged and practicing and playing and expanding my musicianship and stuff. Actually, the theme music for our Roll the Tape podcast, I composed that. And
that's cool.
Me and some buddies recorded it. So, it's a very big part of my life. I really love to nerd out about music theory but yeah, I think at this point in my life, I feel like I have one more push in volleyball, and I'm going to do everything I can for that. And I really enjoy the reward I get out of volley life and doing things to help promote the sport in the community and make it fun for people. So I think I'm going to continue doing that, but I would love for music to continue to, I would make time and find ways to keep that a part of my life. It's such a rewarding piece of it,
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally understand. It's hard to find time. I mean, I love to hear that you play every day.
Yeah.
I should be making art every day, and I don't,
You got to create the environment for it.
Yes,
You
yes.
know? That's the trick. I put the piano in the place that's right next to the TV, basically. I mean, it's in a different room, but it's very close. So it's very easy to just walk over and play the piano.
It's right there, yeah.
It's harder to play the clarinet, which I have to assemble and then clean and disassemble.
My brother played the clarinet, and cleaning that, yeah.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, I mean, I have a studio in our house, and I just I finally have everything set up. So I feel like now I'm ready. I've set up the environment. Now I just got to do it.
Well, I think too, it's important to show yourself some grace. You skip a day, not a big deal. Go in for 5 minutes,
do something.
Lay down a base for the next day, and then it'll build on it. Yeah, I think that's the key. It's hard to be I'm going to practice for 2 hours every day. When I was in college, I practiced 2 to 4 hours almost every day for years, and I was so burnt out by the end of it.
Yeah,
it's just what am I going to do with this? So I think I think you're in a good spot. Yeah.
Giving yourself grace. That's a good way to phrase that.
If you want a paying art gig, Sinead and I would like a mural on our garage door.
Ooh.
So if you're interested in that in the spring, maybe.
Ooh, of what?
Sinead wants to do Patrick Starr, but I think I'm gonna veto that. We'll see.
What? You're gonna veto Patrick? Just a big Patrick Starr?
Yeah. Well, cool. I wish you the best on continuing to find that balance. I'm glad to hear that you're going to be back next year at Fresh Coast defending the title. Good luck. And it'll be my job to make it hard for you with as many good teams and players. But hey, it wouldn't be as fun otherwise, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cheers. All right. Let's drink this a little bit. Yeah, I think we hit our first swear word on the podcast. Yeah, the F-bomb. Probably should, yeah.
Did you say it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. I was like, did I say it? I was trying not. I was doing teacher mode. No swearing.